Hi everybody, welcome to Being Kambua Season 4. My name is Kambua. I'm so happy that you're here, that you're a part of this growing family, growing community of people who just want to pull together our stories to give each other hope, because that's what we need to get through life. Here on Being Kambua, in case you're tuning in for the first time, you've just stumbled on this podcast, you're like, I don't know what goes on here. Let me tell you that the main conversation on Being Kambua is around motherhood, maternal health. We talk about loss, we talk about challenges to the maternal journey. We also talk about the joys and the highs of motherhood. All of that in a beautiful pot called Being Kambua. I've had the privilege of just hosting and getting to talk to amazing people over the last 3 seasons of this podcast. And each time we have a guest, they always leave us with something to think through. They challenge us differently. I'm so challenged and inspired every time that I ask somebody to come on this podcast and they say, yes, Kambua, I will come, because it takes a lot to sit in front of a camera and put yourself out there. It really does take a lot. So thank you to all our guests from season 1 up until now. Putting together this podcast takes just a whole lot of things, a lot of people, a lot of resources. And I have to say thank you to my community of people, friends, and even people that I don't know who have said, I want to support you. How can I support you? People who've put in their finances to ensure that I'm able to air this podcast. Many of whom don't want to be mentioned. So I will just say asanteni sana from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for believing in this vision and for giving towards it. And I also want to take this opportunity to say a special thank you to this beautiful lounge that we're sitting in as we record this season. This is at Dusit Princess on Church Road. Beautiful, beautiful hotel in the heart of Westlands, but you don't feel like you're in Westlands. It's very quiet. It's very cutesy. It's very demure. Thank you for being so warm. Thank you for having us. Thank you for hosting us. I also have to say thank you to Trudy Pictures, who are the gentlemen behind the cameras. They're doing a great job with the sound, with the lighting, with everything, just making sure that we look the way that we ought to look. And just a bigger team of people who've pulled together to make this day. It's not a one-man show. I have like an army of people. Believe me. Believe me when I tell you, I have an army of people, and I'm so grateful to them. So welcome to this season. And starting us off is this amazing young woman who I got to meet her through an event called Valiant Woman last year. For those of you who follow me on social media, I was speaking at an event called Valiant Woman. For those of you who came, asanteni sana. If you didn't come, make sure you don't miss the next one. Sawa sawa. All right. Her name is Cynthia Mutiso. Hi, Cynthia.
Hi, Kambua. How are you?
I'm good. You were hosting me the last time. Now I get to host you.
Yeah. Here I am paying it back.
We're paying it back. That's how we do.
Yeah.
You're good? You've been well?
I've been well. I
Yeah.
thank God.
Mhm.
I know you've been well as well. I've been following up on your platforms.
Yes.
And we really thank God for everything.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Cynthia. Thank you for saying yes.
Karibu.
And thank you for, I've also remembered something else you agreed to do for me. When I agreed to come for Valiant Women, I told you I will come, but there's a special baby I need to talk about at your event,
Yeah.
His name is Baby Kiama. And you guys, this season, I'll be giving you an update on Baby Kiama. This is more reason why you need to watch this season. But Cynthia was so gracious. She said, yes, tell us what you need to tell us about Baby Kiama. He was born with SMA, and it was just basically putting the word out there that his parents need money to get him the drugs that he needs. So thank you, Cynthia.
Karibu sana.
But today it's not about anybody else. Today we want to talk about you and your life and your journey, and the journey of a special girl called Nemma.
Yeah.
Who, your sister Nemma,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So let's start from the beginning. What number are you in your family?
I am the third born
Uh-huh.
and the last born.
Are you?
Yes.
You're a last born.
Yeah.
I would never have guessed.
Most people actually think I'm a firstborn. But
Yeah.
happens I'm the baby of the house.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
What a, no offense to last borns, but what a well put together last born. Okay, Cynthia. And Nemma is number?
Neema was the firstborn.
Oh, Nemma was firstborn.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you have another. Is
I
that
have a brother
Uh-huh.
and then now me.
Okay,
Yeah.
wonderful. So, I mean, I got to hear the story of Nemma when during your event, and I
Yeah.
want you to now just give it to us as it is. Tell us about Nemma and growing up.
Okay. So as you've heard, my name is Cynthia Mutiso. Thank you, Kambua, first of all, for having me here.
My pleasure.
I'm just seated here and I'm saying, it's a lot of work. People really need to support Kambua because this is a lot of work being put into it.
Thank you.
So I'll just go right straight into it. As I've said, I happen to be a last-born, born in a family of 3. And today we are here basically just to speak about Nemma. So Nemma was my elder sister. She's now late. May her soul rest in peace.
Amen.
Nemma was born with sickle cell anemia.
Yeah.
She was actually diagnosed at the age of 1.5. And her entire life, her entire story was just what her name said, Nemma.
Grace.
It was just grace throughout. So Nemma was diagnosed, and after the diagnosis, my parents were apparently told she's not going to live past 4 years.
Okay.
So ideally, she had a life deadline.
Yeah.
Like my parents kept knowing that this baby is growing, but she's not going to go past 4 years. So maybe just to make people understand a little bit about sickle cell.
Please.
It's a genetic disorder that affects the blood. So this means for you and I who are free from sickle cell, our blood cells are normal, for lack of a better word.
Okay.
They are circular. But for a person who is a sickle cell patient, their blood cells, their red blood cells, to be very specific, they are sickle in nature. Look at a crescent moon.
Yes.
That's how their red blood cells look. So this means that they have episodes which are called crises.
Yes.
And this is because now the way the red blood cell is formed, it means it blocks the flow of the blood.
Yeah.
So each time the flow of blood is blocked up, it means this person gets into pain.
Okay.
So ideally, Neema's life was pain throughout.
And we're talking like intense pain.
Intense pain. And it used to be pain that will just start very mild. And she will say things like, Cynthia, my hand is aching.
Yeah.
And within no time, she'll be rolling on the floor because now the pain goes spreading.
Yeah.
Why? Because now the blood is not flowing. It has blocked, but it started, let's say it started at the wrist.
Yeah.
So it will keep, the pain will keep moving throughout the body because now there's no blood flow.
Yeah.
So what does this mean? This means Neema has to go to hospital, get attended to, things like blood transfusion and just like emergency issues done. Medics know how they do it so that they're able to contain the situation and also help her with managing the pain.
So it's not the kind of pain where you can just take a pain reliever and that ache goes.
No. Once it hits and it spreads, it's a matter of admission.
Yeah.
So what did this mean? This meant that Nemma didn't live a normal life because she was in and out of hospital. It got to a point she had like a specific bed at the hospital. So they just knew when she's coming in, she's going in right there.
Yeah.
So that was her life growing up. And because now she was not able to be in school constantly, it meant her academics were really affected.
Yeah.
So she will not really perform so well. But one thing about Nemma, she would always push and make sure that she catches up with the rest.
Yeah.
So once she's a bit better, she'll go back to school.
Yeah.
So she progressed with school.
So Nemma beat the 4-year deadline.
She beat the 4-year deadline.
Wow.
She went past the 4 years and now she got to around 12 years. So at this time, she was supposed to do her KCPE. But again, now the crisis hit harder. Why? Because she's not supposed to be under stress.
Okay.
So they're told, as sickle cell patient, avoid stress. For her, it was avoid stress, avoid excitement, avoid being too active. So she would always have to
It's anything extreme, basically.
Anything extreme knocks her out. If she's too excited, it knocks her down. If she's too stressed, it will also knock her down. So here is KCPE, and unfortunately, she fails. So my parents were not disappointed per se, because I mean, this is a child you would have lost even way before at 4 years, but God has been gracious enough, and here she is doing her KCPE. So after the fail, she spoke to my parents and she requested to go back to school and to resit KCPE.
Wow.
And to shock us even more, she requested to go back to class 7.
Oh my goodness.
Can you imagine?
What a resilient girl.
It would never be me, honestly.
No, it would not be me either.
Yeah. So she went back to class 7.
Yeah.
And did class 7 again, then did class 8. And still she did not perform too well.
Okay.
But she was willing to move on with whatever grade she got at that point.
Okay.
And so because of her condition, the doctors advised so many things, including she can't be far away from my parents. She has to be home because of the continuous observation and the crises that keep coming up. But Nemma didn't understand why. Why do we have to really control my life this way? Because she really wanted to go to a boarding school.
Yeah.
And so the doctors really tried to convince her, but she said, no, I have to experience life the way everyone else is experiencing it.
Right.
So at this point, she happened to fall sick again. It was a severe crisis, because I remember she really stayed in hospital for close to 3 months at that time, just before joining high school. So when she left the hospital, she still insisted that she wants to go to a boarding school. And yeah, because my parents are very supportive, they said, it's okay, we'll find a school that is near. It's a boarding school, but it's close to us, so we can access it easily. So she was taken to a very nice boarding school somewhere close by. And so this meant my mom had to put in a lot of work, because it meant my mom had to visit the school every day, every morning.
Okay.
Why? Because Nemma is on special diet.
Okay,
To control her feeding, to make sure that she's taking food rich in iron. So what my mom will do, she will take care of Nemma in the school. She would wake up at 3, 4, cook, pack the food, go to the school, drop the food, check up on her, she's okay, then go to work. Then in the evening, come back, go to the school, pick up her dishes because she brought food in the morning, then go back home. And that was the routine for 4 years. And she did well. She made us proud. She played football.
Oh, wow.
Even after the deadlines, because also she was given a deadline of 18 years. She was told she wouldn't live past 18. And she beat the deadline.
Wow. And these deadlines were coming from the doctors?
They were coming from the doctors. They were telling us it will be very hard for her to go past 18.
Yeah.
She did well. She was a head girl at school. She was in leadership slots. She was active in drama. She was just all out there. And believe me, most of her friends didn't know she had a condition. Not unless you've seen her taking her medicine. You would never had guessed. So she did KCSE, and unfortunately, again, she didn't perform
too well.
It didn't sit well with her because she had a grade she wanted to achieve. So this time she requested to redo again KCSE.
Nemma, wow.
I know, right? Resilience.
Yes.
So she requested to redo KCSE again, and my parents allowed her to do it. So she did it, and she improved a bit more, but she was still not satisfied. She requested that she goes to college, then she'll figure out about, she said she won't forget the KCSE. She will know what to do about it, but she can proceed to college.
That one.
Yeah, she said, let's put it aside for a bit. We'll revisit. So she started college, and I think it was a bit too intense for her because of the waking up so early in the morning, and of course the books and what. So health-wise, she went down a bit, and she got into severe crises again. So they were very recurrent. It was not an easy journey, especially for my parents, because now it means every time she has a crisis, we have to source for blood.
Oh dear.
which is not easy to get as well. So my mom would call relatives
Yes.
and ask people who have the same blood type.
Yeah.
Back then, it was not too open like right now.
Okay.
If I'm B, I can just donate and then the hospital will do the exchange.
Yes.
It wasn't like that. You were told you need to bring your
A specific match.
yes, a specific match. So my parents would put in so much work getting people on standby. And you know, even people get tired. Yeah. There are times you call them and they're like, I'm not able to come. And this is a life you have to save. So it was a bit too hard, especially for my mom.
Yeah.
But somehow we pushed through. So she was given another deadline. She was told she won't go past 21. But God is gracious. She was still able to push past 21. So she did her college life.
Yes.
She lived a life just like any other person who's healthy. Of course, after college life, you get into the hustle period. You're marking and looking for jobs. And she would wake up and leave the house. And my mom is so worried. She's like, you're not supposed to be doing all these things because it's a bit strenuous.
Yeah.
But she would say, but mommy, I need to go do something.
Yeah.
I need to go work.
Yes.
She loved modeling, so she would do a lot of photo shoots. She would be on billboards. For I remember she was on Ricati Business College billboard, and she would look for them by herself.
Yes.
So she did quite well up until that point. So when she got to around 26 or 27.
27?
Yes. Way past the deadline. Way past the deadline. She remembered KCSE.
Oh.
And so at this point, she came home and said she wants to do KCSE again.
Yes.
And so my mom was like, but you're way past it.
Yeah, you're
good. Way past it.
Yeah.
And she said, no, there's a grade I really wanted. And so there's a place I know adults do KCSE.
Yeah.
I just take private classes and I'll do KCSE.
Yeah.
My mom said, okay, if that's what you want, I'll just do payments for you.
Yes.
You do your thing.
Yes.
And so she went back.
Oh my goodness.
Did a whole year.
Yes.
Then as a private candidate.
Yeah.
Then did her KCSE and she passed well. She passed well.
She got the grades she wanted.
She got the grades she wanted.
Yes.
Slightly after that, now we had Neema talking about she wants to have a baby. She wants to have a baby.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
And when you listen to most sickle cell patient stories, they are advised not to really. They do get babies, but some doctors just advise some patients
because it's too much.
Because it's too much
on the body.
On the body. If your system by itself is struggling, so imagine carrying a baby.
Yeah.
But Nemma didn't take that. So she kept telling us, I have achieved everything in this life, everything that I wanted. The only thing I am left with is seeing my baby.
Okay.
For me, I didn't know what to think about that. But surprisingly for my mom, she was praying for a baby.
Okay.
So I would wake up and I hear my mom praying.
Yeah.
And she's praying. And I would even ask myself, how do you make such prayers while you know what it really means?
Right, yeah.
But I'm just like, these two people, they understand themselves better, so it's okay.
Yeah.
So the prayers went on. My mom kept praying, and my sister kept talking about it. She will tell cousins, she will tell friends, I really want to have a baby. The ones who knew her condition did not support.
Yeah,
discouraged her. But for her, her mind was set.
Yeah.
And so when she hit 30.
Yes. Nemma hit.
When she
this girl had been told she wouldn't go past 4. Then
she was not to go past
21.
4. Yes. When
30.
she hit 30, she said it's time to have a baby.
Okay.
And she had a fiance at that time,
Yeah.
and so she proceeded to plan for the baby.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, Kambua, the day she sent me the positive pregnancy kit test, I didn't know what to do. I didn't respond to that message for close to 48 hours because I didn't know.
Yeah,
I didn't know what to expect.
React.
I didn't know what to. I really didn't know what to do with that information.
Big news. You don't know if it's good
big news,
or
but I don't know how this is going to go. So I just left it on read, and she kept asking, "You're not happy? You're not excited?" what's wrong with you? You're thinking like those people who don't want me to do this. But somehow I came to terms with it.
Okay.
And let me surprise you, her 9 months was the
Yes.
most beautiful
Really?
period of her life.
It was an easy pregnancy?
It was an easy pregnancy.
Wow.
She gained so much weight.
Wow.
She was so strong. She was so happy. She got no crisis at any one point.
That's amazing.
I would keep calling her and ask, are you sure you're okay? Because umenyamaza sana, what's happening? And she's like, I'm okay, I'm just enjoying the period. I'm okay, I am completely fine.
Yes.
And the 9 months were beautiful. They were beautiful. And so come delivery day, my mom calls me. She says, now we have to organize ourselves and go to the hospital.
Okay.
We get to the hospital. It was during COVID time. So there's curfew. There's a lot of things going on. There's COVID. It's just everything all over.
Yes.
We get to the hospital and sadly her choice of hospital, they were not willing to attend to her.
Because of her condition.
Because of her condition. I think they were looking at it from so many angles.
Yes.
And they kept advising us that we go to Kenyatta.
Okay.
My sister was there and she kept saying, I'm not leaving this place. This is where I'm going to deliver.
Okay.
So just tell them to figure out how they're going to attend to me because I won't go anywhere. They just have to do it here. And so it was a back and forth, negotiating with the doctors, trying to figure out if there's blood in the bank that will be readily available.
Yes.
Because now again, she had to do CS, which is not advised for that condition, for someone in that condition.
Yeah.
It was back and forth, back and forth.
Was there a reason why she had to do a CS?
Yes, because they really tried to do the normal delivery, but she wasn't able to
dilate.
Yeah, she wasn't able to dilate.
Okay.
And so she was like, it's okay. Whatever it takes, I am willing.
Yeah.
So after back and forth, we signed papers and she went into theater room. And I remember my mom praying at the corridors and she was praying so loud. She didn't even care who was passing or what is going on. She was
like,
so
this is me and my God.
Yeah, she was so loud. I feel like telling her, Mommy, slow down, but she's just praying and walking and so I'm just there. I'm anxious, I'm nervous until I had a baby cry. And
wow.
I knew
things are good.
Things are okay. But now again, I don't know my sister's condition.
Correct.
So we are waiting for the doctor to come out and allow us to go in and check her out and all that. And so the doctor comes out and she says, you can walk in and check them out and they are okay. I just looked at that baby. I looked at my sister and I was like, yeah, we've really done this.
Yeah. So wait, was it a girl? Was it a boy?
A girl.
Okay.
A beautiful baby girl.
Oh, yes.
So we're excited. We've done this. My sister is just looking at me and she's asking me, you thought I won't do this? Yeah, I am.
Tuko sawa.
Tuko sawa. And she's so excited. My mom is excited and it's beautiful. So immediately we get discharged after 2 weeks. She develops conditions. The cesarean wound, it has conditions. Sometimes she's running out of breath. Sometimes the crisis pain, it's kicking in. And now she has a little baby. So it's a bit too much on her. The 3rd week, we have to go back to hospital. Then we are told she has to go back to theater because there's something that was amiss.
On the wound?
Yeah, on the wound. So we go back to theater. And so she's operated on. And she picks up okay. So she kicks off her motherhood journey. And she's the best mom I ever saw during that period. She took care of the baby for 1 year.
Yes.
She was doing it with a lot of ease.
Wow.
And love and happiness. And you will just say, this one, she's very excited about.
She was born for this.
She was born for this. She knew what she wanted from the beginning. Unfortunately, during this 1 year, she kept developing conditions. She was in and out of hospital quite a lot. So we go this time, we are told the kidney is failing, one kidney is failing. She's like, itaisha too. It will just they'll give me medicine, it will
Yeah.
come to an end.
Yeah.
She's given drugs, she comes home, she takes for a while, then she says, I'm not okay. We go back to hospital. We are told the liver is failing.
Oh my goodness. So one thing after another.
It's one thing after another. And as time progresses, we notice she's getting weaker. She's getting, this condition is also giving these patients a lot of fatigue. So she's
Okay.
thoroughly fatigued.
Yes.
She's getting weaker, she's getting tired.
Yeah.
Then we go next time, we're told another, like the heart has a problem. So it's like the major body organs
are failing.
are failing slowly by slowly.
Yeah.
And it was a bit too hard for everyone in the family because
Yeah.
now it's looking at someone lapsing and there's nothing really you can do about it apart from the medication that she's continuously on.
Yeah.
So we complete 1 year up and down, and now we are approaching the next year, which is now her daughter's birthday.
Okay.
And one day Nemma tells me, I think the only thing I really want is to celebrate my daughter's first birthday. And so I'm thinking, okay. And then after that,
Yeah.
and so she tells me, I think after I celebrate that one, I'll be at peace and I'll be okay with whatever happens to me. Wow. Those words were not light for me because I really didn't know how to react. I didn't know how to handle such information because this is someone telling you, I am willing to let go.
Yeah.
And so we planned for the birthday, the baby's birthday with her. She was so keen on everything, details, down to balloon color.
I love it.
She was keen with the details and everything and the venue and everything. She just wanted it how she wanted it.
Yes.
And even during this time we're planning, she's sick. She's on medication. She's unwell. My mom is saying, you don't need to move too much. You don't have to go to the venue. You don't have, and she's like, no, I have to. I have to go. I'll come back because I'm on medication.
Yeah.
And I remember when we were cutting the cake, the baby's called Mandy. When we were cutting Mandy's cake, she just cried. She cut that cake with Mandy and she broke down. She cried for like 5 minutes and she said, I think I have accomplished.
Oh my gosh.
No one in that venue understood apart from my mom and I, because now we had this information firsthand. She's been telling us continuously. And so guys were looking at us like, why is it hitting you so hard? So we finish up the birthday and the following day, Nemma falls very sick, very sick. Now we are rushing her to hospital immediately after her baby's birthday. Yeah. So my mom says it's because she was too excited yesterday. She was too stressed. She was too, all those things we are used to. Yeah. And so we are taking her to hospital. So I tell my mom, you have to be left behind so that I can move with her to hospital. Then we'll keep you updated on everything. So we start the journey. We did 3 different hospitals. And each hospital we walk into, she'll be like, I don't want here. Can we go to a different hospital? And she will suggest the next hospital. Okay. We get there and she's like, I don't want here. Can we do a different hospital? Okay. So we are moving. Yeah. We are in pain. Yeah. But you're choosing. Yes. Okay, so why are we choosing where we are going? And eventually she says, let's go to KU TTRH. Okay. So we go to KU TTRH and we get there and Nemma is in severe pain. Yeah. She is in severe pain. I can't even look at her because when I look at her, I break down and she's asking me, so why are you crying? Yeah. Why are you crying? I'll be okay. See, by casual, I'll be out of this place. They'll give me the kawaida medicine because I think she was used to
the routine.
She was used to the routine and we were also somehow used to the routine. Yeah. But this time it didn't look like a routine to me. Probably because of the kind of information she had already given me. Yeah. And also my expectations were a bit neither here nor there. So I was crying and she was not understanding, why are you crying? So I call in my dad, I call in my cousin, they come over and so I have people to support me through it. Yeah. So while we are there, the doctors are attending to her. Suddenly her tummy just swells and she looks like she's 9 months pregnant again.
Yeah.
But this time she's crying in pain, severe pain, and she says she feels like she wants to release something from her tummy, but she really doesn't know. So we visit the bathrooms, but nothing. She's in thorough pain. And the doctors try different painkillers. It's like, now let's arrest it completely, but it's failing.
Yeah.
So after so many different drugs, somehow the pain goes down.
Yeah.
And now she says she wants to sleep for a bit.
Yeah.
So we let her sleep and we agree, okay, let's go home. We are coming to check her up tomorrow.
Yeah.
So we go home. At the back of my mind, I think I was already somehow prepared.
Yeah.
Because I had never seen her in that state. But when I get home, my mom asks me, how is the situation? I don't know what to tell her, and I don't know how to explain how the situation looks, because also I don't want to break her heart too early. So I just say, it's okay, I'll see her tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
And so the following day I wake up, and for some weird reason I was supposed to go to the hospital directly.
Yeah.
But I don't know why I decided to go to work first, then to the hospital. So in this process, going to work and then to hospital, I call her.
Yeah.
I just say, let me just call. If she picks her call, I'll know she's okay. And so I call her and she picks her call. And she sounds so strong. She tells me, I've had breakfast, now I'm waiting for the doctor. If you guys can make it quicker, please come early, because I need someone around. So I tell her, it's okay, I'm just passing by the office. Then I come over. She says, cool. So after like 45 minutes, a new number calls me. And I'm thinking, okay. So I'm like, okay, cool, let me just pick it. So I pick it, and it's a nurse from where she's admitted.
Yeah.
And the lady is like, do you have a patient at KUTTRH? I tell her, yes, I have a patient there. And she asks me, where are you? I tell her, I'm in the office, but I'm coming. So she tells me, can you make it here very fast? I'm like, why? Because I know she's in safe hands, so why am I making it there very fast?
Yeah.
But I already have
a sense.
So I ask her, why do I come in very fast? And she tells me, just come in, or if you have someone who's closer, tell the person to come in. So I call my dad, and he tells me, I'm actually just at the gate getting into the hospital. And so my dad goes in, and he's told, we need blood urgently. And luckily, he was in the army, and so there are barracks around, so he can easily access a barrack. So he goes to Kahawa barracks to secure blood. Unfortunately, he came back with the blood, but no one to give the blood. Because by the time he was coming back, my sister was normal. And so my dad was just there seated with, those containers they used to carry, because they just gave him to come to the hospital. And so he's just seated there, he doesn't have. And he didn't call me to tell me. I think he just shut down. He went off. So the nurse calls me again, and she tells me, your dad is around, but we need you to come over.
Oh dear.
So I ask her, okay, could you explain what is happening? Because you're telling me come over, you're giving me so much anxiety, yet I don't know how to handle it. So she tells me, you just come over. So I ask her, is my sister still there? Then she just hangs up.
Oh dear.
And at this point, I realized she wasn't anymore.
Yeah.
And so I was walking along Spring Valley. I don't know how, but I just jumped into the road. With vehicles coming from this side and this side, I just jumped right in the middle. And from nowhere, a certain lady came and got hold of me. And she was shouting. And I look at her and she asks me, why are you going into the middle of the road? And I tell her my sister is dead. She says, what do you mean your sister is dead? I tell her, my sister was admitted at the hospital, but she's dead. She's like, okay, who told you your sister is dead? I tell her the hospital called me and she says, did she tell you your sister is dead?
Yeah.
I say no, but I think I can put one and two together. So I break down and the lady is like, okay, can I take you to the hospital?
Oh, okay.
I tell her, okay, but before we go to the hospital, can you take me to my mother's house? I pick my mom, we go together.
Yes.
She says, okay, I can take you wherever you want. This is someone I don't know.
Wow, a stranger.
I have never seen. She just appeared from nowhere. So we go to my mom's house, we go pick her, and I tell her, come out with the baby, and she's asking me, why?
Yeah.
There's COVID.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on.
Yes.
Why are you taking us to a hospital
Yes.
with a child?
Yeah.
I tell her, just come. I don't want to break the news, but then again, I can't even have eye contact with her
Yeah.
because I don't know how she's going to react.
Yeah.
So I tell her, you just come. Carry the baby. Let's go. So we get into the car and we drive to KUTTRH.
Yeah.
We get there and we found my dad seated on a stone, still with his blood.
He's like in shock.
He's in shock. He's
Yeah.
numb. He's tearing. He's
Yeah.
not crying. He's not doing anything.
Yeah.
He's just seated there. And so my mom is asking,
Nini.
Nini, uko na damu nje? It's supposed to go in. What is happening here? And my dad just signals me like, nikubaya. So I'm looking at my mom and I'm looking at my dad and I'm thinking, okay, so how do we break this news? Because for me, I think I'm already numb and I don't even know how to react to anything. But there's my mom who needs to get this information. And she's looking at us. It's like, simuange, like, what is happening here? And my dad just walks away. He goes away. It's like, so I'm left with my mom. And so my mom just turns and asks me, is my daughter still alive? And at that point, I can't hold it anymore. So I just break down.
Yeah.
I walked away. Then I remember my mom. Her condition also, she's hypertensive. So I turned back. I expected something very dramatic.
Yes.
I expected she would scream, she would roll, she would. I just expected something very abnormal. To my surprise, my mom just got into the car and she started praying. She prayed close to an hour.
Wow.
And what was her prayer? Thank you, God.
Wow.
Because Nemma had hit how old? 33.
33.
33.
Wow.
And so mommy was just praying and she was continuously saying, thank you, God. Thank you, God, for the grace, for giving her 33 years, for giving her a baby, for taking her through normal life. She would have gone at 4. She would have gone at... She was continuously thanking God, thanking God, thanking God.
Wow.
So the stranger I came with is still around.
Okay, do you know her name at least at this point?
Yes, I do know her name. We are even very good friends at this point.
Yes.
And so what was the stranger doing? She was attending to baby Mandy.
Oh, bless.
She was attending to baby Mandy, giving her milk, walking around with her. Just, it's like she just came for that particular purpose.
Yes.
So the entire time we're there doing the morgue clearance, the hospital bills and what. This lady is just with baby Mandy throughout. She's with baby Mandy throughout. And I'm just thinking, so later in the day I tell my mom, do you know I don't know that lady? And my mom's like, you're lying. What do you mean you don't know that lady? She was with the baby the entire time. I don't know her. We met on the road and she brought me home, then brought me here. I don't even know her name.
Yes.
So I go ask her, baby, what's your name?
So it'd be a good time to know your name.
What's your name? Because the whole time you're with us. And so she tells me her name. And we start the mourning process, the preparations, the burial preparations. And so it happened when we went back home. That day, baby Mandy was looking for someone. Yeah. She was looking for her mom, her mother, of course. Yeah. So she would open different rooms, peep in. Oh. She can't see anyone. She's so disappointed. Moves to the next room, opens. She peeps in, she can't see anyone. She comes to the, of course now we've passed on the information, so people have started coming home, and she would come to the living room, stand somewhere in the middle, she'll look at all these spaces, and it's like, there's someone missing here.
Yeah.
And she's so disappointed, so she walks away.
Yeah.
It was painful for me to witness, and I really didn't know how to handle that bit of the situation. But guess what happened? The following day when we woke up, Mandy called me mom. She was still in that stage. You can't really figure out what she's saying, but she knows papa, she knows mom, she knows mama. She's saying some words. So she woke up and she was just like, mom.
Oh my goodness.
And that has been it, Kambua.
Oh my
She has
goodness.
never called me auntie. She has never called me any other thing.
Became her mommy.
Yeah, it became her mommy. We have relatives coming in, but she does not mistake any of us.
Yes.
She will call me specifically mama or mom.
Yeah.
She will not call anyone else. And it just dawned on me that it's
You
time.
just earned a new title.
It's time.
Yes,
It's time.
yes.
And just like that overnight,
Yeah. You became a mom.
I became a mom.
Yeah.
What did this mean for me? It meant a lot. It meant a lot because it meant, I would say, an entire shift of things.
Yeah.
When I look at it from my mental space,
Yes.
it means I have to adjust mentally. And remember, I'm still mourning.
Yeah.
So this is grief,
Yes.
and this is motherhood kicking in. Combined. And I have to handle both, or else there'll be a problem. Because if I don't grieve enough, it's going to be, you can never grieve enough, but if I don't go through that process, it's going to be a problem. But there's motherhood that has kicked in.
Correct.
And so I have to be there for this baby. I have to step up. That's mentally. Emotionally, I have to switch things up. Socially, I have to switch things up. Financially, I have to switch things up. And this is not something you prepared for. Because you see, as opposed to someone who has done 9 months of pregnancy, preparing, and whatnot.
Psychologically, you know, this is
coming.
coming.
You know, this is coming.
Yes.
The baby needs this, the baby needs that. For me, it's just overnight. I woke up and
I'm a mom. Congratulations.
I am a mom. And there's diapers, there's I don't know what, there's none, there's what, there's what.
Yes.
And hey, I'm just thinking, what is this life?
Yeah.
What is going on here?
Yeah.
And so I'm also putting a lot of expectations on myself.
Okay.
Because at the back of my mind, I want to make my sister proud. I want to make her happy.
Yes.
Fortunately or unfortunately, Nemma had mentioned so many things she would want for her baby.
Okay.
Down to dressing.
Okay, so she left you a roadmap,
She gave me a clear roadmap, which I have to really keep up with.
Yes.
She told me the kind of school she wants, the education system she wants for her baby. She gave me information bit by bit, but when you put it together, it's up until she's a grown girl.
Wow.
And so I'm thinking I have to keep up with these expectations. And
that's heavy.
It's heavy. Sometimes I beat myself a bit too much. If I feel like I've not done exactly how my sister would want it to be done, I feel like I have angukad and I have to correct. And it was not an easy journey, but thanks to my mom, she has been constantly there and also reminding me that you're human and you're taking care of a human being. So
correct.
Every day, a day at a time.
Yes.
It's been a beautiful journey watching her grow from, because I took up at year 1. Now we turned 4 in January.
Well done, Mama.
Thank you. Watching her grow, watching the progress, giving her what she needs by God's grace, making her comfortable and happy, and just being constantly present. As I said, it's not an easy journey because, of course, even myself, there's a way I had planned my life. But sadly, it has to unfold a different way. Because now, I'll give an example. I had already moved out of home. I had started my life out of home as a young girl, of course. And sadly, I have to come back home. Why? Because I need guidance on bringing up this child.
And help.
And And also I need to be there for my mom, who is also, they were best friends with Nemma. They were very close. So I have to come in so that we help each other through this process. And thinking I have to go back. Not to say that home is a bad place, no.
But it almost feels like you're regressing.
I'm regressing.
Yes.
I had really progressed,
Yes.
and then now I'm coming back like 100 steps back, and it feels like what is happening here. It was a bit too much that I kept convincing my mom, can we just move out with the baby? Then everything will be okay. Because
instead of me moving in,
yeah,
we all move out.
Yeah, because now what is
sense.
all this? I'll say God's grace has been sufficient. The same grace that followed Nemma through her life. With the condition and everything going on, it has been the same grace that has been flowing, even taking up Mandy to take care of her and be there for her. She has been constantly healthy, we thank God. She has been constantly developing vizuri, we thank
her
God.
milestones are good.
Milestones, they're okay, we are comfortable, we really thank God. Mentally, what does it mean for me? It means I need to develop quicker, for lack of a better word. Because now,
someone is depending on you.
Someone is depending on you, and every decision I make, I have to consider this Mandy. And I thank God even for friendships, the people I have kept in my circle. They've constantly reminded me of baby Mandy, because it can be very easy for me to forget if I'm not careful. Because sometimes I want to go to places. But then I have a very close friend of mine, she'll tell me, hey,
kona mtoto?
Ujo kona mtoto. Nafika home sangapi? And I'm like, hey, now, what is all this? And she says, no, you have to do it because Mandy is watching. Don't think she's 4 and so she's understanding everything. So you have to get home early. And so even friendships have really been helpful for me. People calling me out when they need to call me out. People congratulating me when they need to congratulate me. And those holding my hand. It's been beautiful. Sometimes I feel like you're screaming too much. You're calling my name 1,000 times per minute.
Mom, mom, mom. Mom.
And I'm like, okay, yes.
Nimekusikia, sema.
And she's like, I'm talking to you. And I'm like, okay, cool. Now we are talking, So it's just a lot of mixed emotions in between, but very beautiful, I must say.
Wow.
I'm also really proud of my sister because looking at her life, she really didn't allow anything to put her down. She took situations and ran with them as they were. I remember there are times we would wake up and she would look at herself in the mirror. And she will turn back and say, leo nakaa vibaya. And I'm like, okay. Because you see, their eyes turn yellow when they're just about to hit a crisis. And she looks pale and she looks weak. She can just tell something is about to happen. And she'll look back and tell me, leo nakaa vibaya. But unajua nini? Hey, makeup, nita makeup. Macho tu ndo wataona, but everything else, I'm out of this house. And she will go do her things. So it was an encouragement even for us, looking at her, encouraging herself, being resilient, taking the situation and running with it. Some will say, oh, Nemma, you're too tiny, you're too small, you're too petite. And she'll say, I'm a model. I mean, what do you expect? What do you expect? I'm a model, so this is how I am. So we really thank God. We really thank God, considering most of them actually don't hit those deadlines. Most of them. But God was gracious.
She
just
hit
as her name
one after another
to 33.
That's a big deal.
That's a big deal.
I'm so inspired hearing the story of Nemma. I think there's so much to learn from your sister. She went for what she wanted.
She did.
And she never gave up. It's that thing of not taking no for an answer. I will try until that door opens.
Get there.
If it means going back another year, I'll go back and get the grade that I want. That she never allowed anything to stand in her way,
Yeah.
or never used her illness as an excuse not to do
Exactly,
things. Because
exactly.
sometimes we do that,
Yeah.
where yes, you do have, it could be a chronic illness, a condition or whatever. We allow those things to limit us.
Yeah.
But I feel like she was just like, it's a condition, but this is me and this is what
Yeah,
I'm
and
going
this is
for.
what I want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A couple of things. I know you've mentioned that she was small,
Yeah.
her frame. You mentioned sometimes her eyes would turn yellow when she's about to get hit a crisis.
Yeah.
Do sicklers, they're called sicklers, right?
Yeah.
People who have sickle
Yeah.
cell. Do sicklers have, are there, if you looked at somebody, for instance, because you had a sister who had it,
Yeah.
are you able to suspect that
Yes.
someone is a sickler?
Yes.
What do you see?
First of all, the body frame. Most
Yes.
of them, they're really
Tiny.
Okay. Their frame.
Yeah.
And also the eyes tell them out.
Okay.
And physically, I think just that can make you suspect.
Okay.
But then again, not everyone who's like that is in
There
that
could
condition.
be just petite
they could
people.
be just petite,
Yes.
but mostly if they're pale,
yes,
if they have like yellow eyes, jaundice eyes,
Yeah.
I can suspect.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
it
a
could
little
be.
bit. It could be.
Okay.
Yeah.
My other question is, because you said it's a genetic condition,
Yeah.
does that mean maybe that one of your parents is a carrier, or both parents? What does that mean? And did it mean that there was a chance that Mandy would have been born a sickler, or how does it work?
Yeah. So it means one of my parents was either okay, I'm not saying they are, but either full or a carrier. One of them.
Yes.
And yes, it meant Mandy would either be clean of it, or a carrier, or a full.
Okay. Do you know?
Not yet.
Okay.
Why haven't we done any test? Because we've not seen. You see, Nemma was diagnosed at 1.5.
Yes.
So we've grown to 4 years. We've not seen anything in Mandy that gives us a sign.
Yeah.
But I think we are also living in what do we call it? I think we are in a season of healing, and for me and also my parents, I think none of us is ready to get into such a conversation or to dig deep into such information.
Okay.
So we take it a day at a time, a year at a time.
Yeah.
She's healthy, she's okay, then
we
are good. We take that for now.
Yeah.
But I'm sure a number of people, they've mentioned to me, you need to check, you need to do this, you need to do this. Of course, we are going to do it.
Yes,
we're going to do
but
checks.
You're pacing yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pole, we're just going to figure
okay.
it out how she is.
Yeah. For people who are listening to you, because, you know, I mean, women are such special people, because even when listening to your mother, for 4 years, she would go to that school, everyday boarding school, to make sure her child is eating right. Morning, evening, go to work and still take care of her other children. It's so much that she was carrying, but she did it. There's such a grace that women carry. You became a mother overnight, you know, like here, today you are single, tomorrow you're a mommy.
Yeah.
It's a huge thing.
Change, yeah.
A huge change. And we see it a lot. I've seen stories on Instagram of people just like you whose sisters transition for one reason or another, they have to take up all their children. What would you say, like, to people who know you, but also to other people who are listening who have found themselves in similar situations? How can your community support you better or best?
Okay, it depends. It really depends on the kind of community you're keeping. Yeah. But just to generalize it, in whatever setup and community you will find yourself.
Yours.
If I use mine, the Cynthia community, mostly mentally and emotionally.
Okay.
Because many a times I will just feel like everything is too much. I'll give an example. 2023, I happened to break down. And it was so much that I even had to be admitted at a mental hospital. And at the back of my mind, I'm still thinking about Mandy.
Baby,
But my friends were constantly there. They were constantly there to remind me, you have to get well first so that you're able to take care of this child. So now you're breaking, you're breaking because you feel like everything is a lot. But there's still this baby that you need to take care of. And you still have to get well for you to take care of her. So my friends really played a big role in holding me through
Yeah.
the emotional and mental breakdown.
Yeah.
So I'll say majorly emotionally and mentally.
Yeah.
Also just being there, being
Yeah.
present. Sometimes I just need someone to come with me so that we
Yes.
take Mandy somewhere.
Yes.
And I'll call a friend and I'll just say, what are you doing?
Yeah.
I am with Flanny. Okay, can we take Mandy somewhere to
Yeah.
play? And they're present. And
Yes.
it feels so nice
Yes.
as opposed to going alone with
Yeah.
the baby. At least
Yeah.
I'm with my friend. She's there with us. We play. She has a good time. Then we bring her back home.
Yeah.
Even being present.
Yeah.
And even just, sometimes my friends will invite me to their places and I'll say, can I come with Mandy? And they're like, yeah, come with her.
Yes.
And so I carry her. She
Yes.
goes, she has a good time. We're there, we're talking about
Yeah.
everything and anything. However, I must also say,
Yeah.
I happen to have a lucky community because a good number of them, they are moms.
Yes.
It just happened that my friends were blessed with babies
Yes.
before me.
Yes.
And so it was also very easy to
Yeah.
blend in.
Yeah.
Because now I'll call someone and I say, hey, let me tell you, I forgot about diapers today.
Yes.
I completely forgot. They ran out and I didn't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they'll just tell me, it's okay to
Yeah.
forget.
Yeah.
And we even forget more important things
Yeah.
like hospital visits.
Yes.
It's okay.
It's true.
Yeah, so it's okay. Just
Yes.
buy the pampers and bring home, just
Yeah.
like that.
Give yourself grace.
Give yourself grace and
Yes.
I'll be like,
Yeah.
if you can forget a hospital visit, you're
Yes.
worse than I am. Then I'm okay. So
It's motherhood. It's
mother-
chaotic. It's just
chaotic,
like
it's all over.
when you're winning today, tomorrow you're
losing
Yeah.
flat to the ground. Yeah. So and also what you've mentioned, when you find yourself in this situation, give yourself grace.
Yeah.
I came to learn no one is at 100 with this thing. No one is at 100.
No.
So we are just learning even
Yeah.
people who have like 4 babies.
They're
the
learning
5th
on the
baby,
job
they're just
still.
learning on the
Yeah.
job because I think my mom keeps telling me babies are very different.
Correct.
And so I should not even think I've learned anything
Yes.
with Mandy. When I get now my baby,
Yes.
I'll still learn
Yes.
all
yes.
over again
Yes.
and probably even harder
Yeah.
than. So if you find yourself in that situation, give yourself grace. If you have friends who are in such situations,
Yeah.
hold them through. Remember, they're going through a lot. If it
Yeah.
is a loved one who transitioned, they're going through grief, they're
Yeah.
going through also how you talk to them about things.
Yeah.
Because I'll give an example. A while back, I was having a conversation
Yeah.
with someone I know. I wouldn't say
Okay.
a friend, with
Yeah.
someone I know. And this person was questioning me on things that were very heavy.
Okay.
And I realized 2-3 years down the line,
Yeah.
I'm wounded and you're here talking to me about very
Yes.
heavy things.
Yes.
Because this person was like, okay, so how are you going to tell Mandy you're not the mom? And I'm like, when the time comes,
Yeah.
we'll cross the bridge when it gets there. And she just has to know. As time goes by, as she grows up, she'll
Yeah.
have to know.
Yeah.
And so the person is like, okay, so what if she knows and she rebels? And I'm like, what do you mean rebel?
Those are very insensitive questions.
Very
to
insensitive
ask.
questions
Yeah.
to ask. And
Yeah.
so the person is like, what if she rebels? And I'm like, what do you mean rebel?
Yeah.
Sometimes a child can rebel when they find out you're not.
I mean, children
biological-
rebel even when they're your biological children.
Exactly.
So
and
that's
so
not
I'm
even a
like,
valid.
okay, fine.
Yeah.
This conversation, where is it headed to?
Yeah.
And can we cut it? And I
Correct.
keep cutting it, but the person still keeps
Yeah.
asking even
Yeah.
more painful questions.
Yeah.
So even the way you talk to these people, the way you
Yeah.
handle them, the kind of conversations you're having with them, grief is not something someone can live past.
Yeah.
And the whole situation is not something you can heal from
Yeah.
very easily overnight. So
Yeah.
just be
I think
sensitive.
that's so important. Yeah. And I think that as you continue to raise Mandy, you have to have such strong boundaries with people.
Yeah.
Here on this podcast, we've talked a lot on self-advocacy, because you'll give them an inch and they will take a mile. The minute you entertain that first question, they're now like, now I'm coming guns blazing. I think the minute you feel that this is an inappropriate question, you stop it right there.
Yeah.
That I don't owe you that information, or this is an inappropriate question. End of story,
Yeah.
because then you're able to protect yourself, your mental health, and just protect the space that you're building with your child as well.
True.
I also want to affirm to you, Cynthia, that you're a mom to that child in every way possible. You did not carry her in your womb, but you are her mother.
Yeah.
That title mother is worn differently by different people.
Women, yeah.
We have grandmothers who have been our mothers.
Yes.
We have aunties who have been our mothers. They fit that role in everyone. You don't have to have been biologically carried by a woman to be her mother and for that child to be yours. At your right time, you will know when to tell her about her other mother.
Yeah.
You are just her other mother, you know. So for people who say, when will you tell her about her real mother? It's not about her real mother. It's her biological mother, and you're her mother as well, right? As we wind up, I want you to look into that camera, and because one day Mandy will be old enough to watch this conversation that we have had. I want you to speak to her as your daughter and just what you wish for her, and also what you would remind her of Nemma, her biological mother. What would you like to remind her of Nemma, and what would you like to speak to her for the rest of her life? Go ahead.
This felt a bit emotional. So yeah, for baby Mandy, or rather to baby Mandy, I look at her and I see my sister Nemma. The things she does, the way she does her things, everything, the way she handles everything, I just see my sister Nemma. And I keep telling my mom, I am bringing up my sister in this child. She's beautiful, she's adorable, she's a go-getter. She won't take no for an answer. Mandy, I know you can't take no for an answer. And I keep telling you that every single day. And from the bottom of my heart, I love baby Mandy. I love her a lot. She brought us so much consolation. She gave us so much hope in life. We never thought we would ever see Nemma's child, but by God's grace, we saw Mandy. I keep saying I can't wait to see her as a teen. I know teenagehood is not something to play around with, but for some reason, I keep saying I can't wait to see her as a teen. And I can't just wait for us to grow together, because literally we are just growing together. As I grow, she's growing. I would want her to know that her mom was a fighter. She called herself a sickle cell warrior, and she kept telling people she's a warrior no matter what. So I would love Mandy to know that her mom was a warrior, and she was strong, resilient, and determined in every way. She was blessed by God, and so is Mandy. I know she's going to grow up into a beautiful young lady and a woman in future, and I can just wait to see her journey and just enjoy every bit of it. Her mommy loved her so much, and I remember she said she's sure she has left Mandy in safe hands. And yeah, I promise to keep that word. I promise to keep that promise. And also flowers for my mom for taking care of us, for taking care of Mandy, guiding us through. Also, there's so much work she put into my sister, the entire life. It was not easy, but she did what she needed to do. And of course, also to my dad for everything he did, being constantly on standby for everything that was needed. It's been beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Cynthia.
You're welcome.
I won't even add anything to that. I want us to stop right there. It's been such a heartwarming conversation here with Cynthia. Thank you for your time, sharing Nemma with us, sharing Mandy with us. We feel like we are part of your family. And we are cheering you on. From all the mummies in the Being Kambua family, we are cheering you on. You've got this. Ukisahau diaper unaenda tu haraka unanunua na maisha inaendelea.
Yeah, true.
Right? All right, guys, this has been Being Kambua. I cannot wait to catch you again next week. Thank you so much for staying here with us. Bye. Speak up. Speak up. Maybe she has nobody to speak up for her. So many things could be averted if we all played our roles as responsible adults, as responsible human beings, and not turning our head the other side and saying it's none of my business. It is actually your business. It is actually your responsibility to be one another's keepers.